Hey guys, Willie here. We're going to talk about how I'm going to have to get ready for winter and get this place a little bit toasty. I woke up this morning and a little bit of chill in the air. But anyways, before I do that, I'm going to get off on a little rant about space heaters because they freaking piss me off. So sit back and enjoy the ride. So, can anyone tell me the difference between this little guy on high, and my fireplace? There is none. They're a space heater. For all you people, I don't know how I can explain this anymore because I got into a debate with this last night on my one channel. I got in a debate with this on a podcast, and it's bothered me a little bit. When you go shopping to your local Canadian Tire, to your Walmart, to wherever it is, and people look at space heaters, they look at them by room size. Oh, this one does a large room. This one does a small room. I got news for you. They do the same job. They're 1,500 watt space heaters. They heat their air around you. Radiant heaters are a little bit different because they're made to heat your skin, not the room. But space heaters, don't go buy a $300 space heater in a wooden, nice looking box because it was made by some Amish guy, crafted in whatever, in his barn. Spend $10 on a space heater. As long as it's 1,500 watts, for most of you, it's going to do the same job. You don't understand. They're all energy efficient. Every bit of energy that comes out of that plug and into these heaters comes out in heat in some form or another. Not one is more energy efficient than the other. The only way you're going to get that is if you can control the wattage going out, but that's different. We'll talk about that in a minute. So just to show you, okay, this is a $10 freaking heater. This is, I think, was $20 heater because it plugs right in your wall and it has a thermostat that's full of shit. So watch what happens to the wattage when I turn this on. I'm going to turn this on high. It's going to kill my my battery consumption for the day. We're into cloudy days now, but that aside. So you're going to hover around the 1,500 watts. This thing, as it gets going, it should break down around maybe 1410 or the 1300s, around there. They have a maximum wattage of 1,500 watts. That's all they can have in Canada. They can't have any higher, which means, so 1,500 watts, which is, well, 5,000 BTUs around there, 5,100, 5,200. That is the most they can put out. They can't put out any more than that. So this little small heater can't put any more out than my fireplace. They can't put any more out than one that says it's for a large room with smarter technology. No. If the box says 1,500 watts, 5,100 BTUs on it or whatever it is, it's going to do the same job as a big one. It can't do any more. You can say, well, there's a fan on it, it blows air. No, it means you can feel it a little bit different. But their convection works the same way if it didn't have a fan. It heats the air around you. It doesn't matter. What matters, look, I'll shut this off. What matters is your thermal load. What is the thermal load? The thermal load is the amount of heat losing out of your room compared to what's going in. If you're losing more heat in your out of your room because the windows are open, not insulated, doors are open, whatever, that's what matters. It doesn't matter how much heat you're putting in, it's how much you're losing. If you can't put more heat in than what you're losing, you're screwed. Now watch when I turn on my fireplace. So you'll hear the heater kick on. It just takes a second. Look at my wattage. It's the same wattage. But this says it can do a very small room. This says it's made for large rooms. There's no difference. It's gonna put out this. Actually, this is gonna put out a little bit less, unless it gets once it gets going, it'll jack up a little more. But I don't think so. This is actually putting out less heat than what this one was. It's using less wattage. So, guys, yeah, don't be stupid when you buy space heaters. Don't spend the money. Sure, some look nicer than other, whatever. But the cheapest one will do the same job. The cheapest, smallest one, as long as it's rated 1,500 watts, is going to do the same job as that big monster that's rated for a big room. So don't waste your money. Don't be stupid. Be smart about it. Anyways, let's get on to what I wanted to talk about. All right, let's keep this part quick. Most of my heating is done with oil lamps and a Big Buddy heater. But occasionally I do throw on electric heat. Especially for this month, I'm going to be skimping away from the electric heat, but when I do use electric heat, even when I'm not doing this 1 month off grid, this is kind of what I use. So I'm going to ignore this one. This is the one we just showed you. These personal little heaters are great because you can throw that when you're sitting on the couch. You can throw that in front of you. They don't use a lot of wattage. On low, I think, let's kick this on here. On low, it's using, less than 200 watts. And the thing's going to, well, this machine will run it for about 9 hours. But it's a very low wattage, but it puts out a lot of heat and it blows. Like, you set this in front of you, set it on my coffee table beside me as it's running. It's fantastic. I mean, it does have a high setting too. And I think it pumps it up to about 400 watts. But it works fantastic. It blows the heat on you. It's not going to heat the whole room. But you know what? It'll heat a small bedroom if you left it on all night. But more importantly, it heats you up. And that's what matters, right? You threw this in a tent. If you had to set up a tent and threw this in there, it would roast out your tent. So this is my main use right here, my personal little heater. And I also use the electric blanket. The electric blanket's plugged in there. When you turn that on, how many watts am I pulling on that? So 53 watts. This is going to be my go-to. When I'm sleeping, I got enough blankets anyway. This is when going to be the go-to sitting on the couch if it gets a little chilly in here. The electric blanket is a go-to. Look, you run it for 26 hours. Not that I'm going to be running an electric blanket for 26 hours, just out of curiosity. If I turn on that heater on low. So, 8 hours of run time, but I'm not going to be running this heater. I'm really crushing my batteries here. Another one I want to show you, I apologize, I showed you a second ago, says this thing runs up to 1500 watts. These are good for your home outside of, doing an off-grid thing. They're good for off-grid too, I guess. I don't use a lot of power, but my mistake. This thing doesn't go up to 1500 watts. You turn it on, turn off the electric blanket. So the thermostat's set for 90. How accurate these thermostats are, not very, but blows a lot of heat, plugs directly into your outlet, can spin around to different ways. Let's see what I'm pulling here. 424 watts on high. That's about the same as the other one. Let's see if I can bring down the temp and see if it changes the wattage here. How far will this go? 60 zip. Oh, it shut off, so it's above 60 degrees in here. So I guess did it click on? Yeah, it did click on. So yeah, no difference. The thermostat, the thermostat is there for the ambient temperature, but this controlling, yeah, that's all that is. It's just, which makes no sense. You should have a wireless thermostat across the other side of your room. It would be more accurate. So there's not a lot of difference. But this is, guys, turn this off. I don't want to waste any more. This is my heating for the rest of the month. My big buddy, if it gets really cold, which it's not going to be, hopefully not, the electric blankets, and this little personal guy if I got to throw them on for an hour. But I'm trying not to. I'm going into very cloudy days. I'm already pinching pennies type thing as far as what I'm using and not using. Today is going to be, I'm off today, a lot of books, I can mess around on my phone, but I need to conserve this for, I don't know. I'm going to try to do the toaster oven later for 10 minutes, so that's going to suck a lot of juice out of here, and hopefully we can get a little bit of sun, but I'm not counting it for the next 3 days. Anyways, guys, that's what I'm going to be heating off of if I need to, the electric blanket, the big buddy, and this little guy's a last resort. Anyways, I'm Wild Willie, and I got to get trucking. Thanks for watching. Remember, it's not a question if the shit expands, it's a question of when, so always be prepared.